Welcome to Boomer Bongo Boulevard. I'm Mike, just Mike. Along with me is my brother Ron, just Ron. And we've got some guests tonight, which we don't usually do, but we are happy to have them. We'll talk about that in just a minute. I want to remind you this is season 2, episode 20. And our guest now that we're going to talk about the Monkee Men. Oh, wait, by the way, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I hear that's important. I don't know if it really is or not, but we're going to say that because everybody else says it. And we've got 2 representatives so far from the Monkee Men. That's a Monkees tribute
No,
band.
now there's 3.
3? Oh, we got somebody else popping in
Yeah,
now.
it's 3.
And
One
but
more.
we've got right now on the screen, or at least what I can see, is Frankie Mendonca and Jonathan Fickus.
You got it. Wow.
I
Nice
got
work.
it. Yeah, I
All right.
practiced actually. Believe it or not, Jonathan. And these guys, Jonathan is plays the role of Peter Tork in the tribute band, and then Frankie plays Davy Jones. And
That's right.
I've
That's
read
right.
some reviews online, and you guys are really good, according to what we hear from folks. But anyway, I've got my brother Ron here, and Ron started off with a question.
Well, I spoke with you guys through Facebook about, I don't know, year and a half ago, and was asking y'all, if you were going to play outside of California, if you were coming to Texas or anything like that, and then I saw not too long ago that you guys are starting a tour, and so you're playing in actually in Waco, Texas, at the Hippodrome on the 28th, and lots of other places around, and I just thought it'd be nice, just talk about the tour a little bit. Kind of, what you do at the show, what people can expect to see, and that's about it as far as just take it away, guys.
Wow.
Well, I think the person to talk about like tour dates and stuff would be Frank.
What?
I know we're playing a lot, or maybe Josh. I know we're playing a lot in Utah. We have that run in July. Where is that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're playing a few different places in Utah, and then we're actually going to make it all the way up to Rupert, Idaho, I believe is the town.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And I love doing tours because we know that like by the end of the tour we're going to be super solid. Like
Yeah.
whenever you play, like sometimes it's a bummer to just fly in and play one show and then leave right away.
Yeah.
Like a few in a row, every show gets better than the next. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Well, I was looking at the dates, guys, and you've already played one show, correct?
Yeah.
The 28th at the Hippodrome. Have you played that already? No, wait,
Oh,
that's
not the 28th.
No,
I'm sorry,
that's this
the
weekend.
12th. I'm sorry, the 12th
Yeah.
on where, Arizona?
Yeah, Gilbert.
Yeah.
And how did that go? I mean, did it go
great.
like you expected? I looked at let me help if I've or let me ask if I've got this right. Holds about 1,200 people. Did you sell out? Were you happy with the crowd?
We
The
sold out a
crowd was
long
great.
time
I don't know
ago.
if we sold out. You know, yeah. The Gilbert show. Yeah. It was a great crowd though. Yeah, it was just fun finally like seeing the show like come to fruition and stuff. Yeah. Because we played a couple like hour-long shows. That's like usually what we play. But so this was like a full show, so we got to do like twice as many songs. So it was really fun. We had we brought the banjo out. We brought Mickey comes down front and plays a timpani. Like there's a timpani in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very top shelf production value.
Yeah. So in the shorter shows, I'm guessing you don't do as many of like costume changes and things like that. Because I saw some of the pictures where you kind of look like you played like kind of the different eras and looks and
yeah. I think it's we're doing the Rainbow Room look. Is that right? Is that
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's great doing Pleasant Valley Sunday, wearing that stuff. The video in my head when I'm playing.
Yeah.
The video. I'm doing it.
But you probably don't do the henna on the hand though.
I did. We did promo pics, And if you look closely, you can see it on my
Oh,
hands.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice,
who pointed
nice
that out?
touch on the
Yeah.
detailing there.
Well, he said you probably didn't do the henna on your hand, right? And I was like, well, sure did.
Because of course you did.
Yeah. Well, because
Josh,
we're all
you're
nerds.
there. You popped in. We noticed you got in here, and now
Yeah.
you represent Mickey. Mickey's your character on stage, and I'm looking at this tribute band thing, and I mean I've been to a few tribute shows over the years, and the thing that really impresses me about it is you're playing and singing, playing an instrument, singing at the same time, which all band members have to do. And I've heard plenty of people say that's fairly difficult for some people. They really have to work on it. But you guys are playing and singing and acting. Doesn't that
Mhm.
put another level of difficulty to everything?
Oh, absolutely. Playing and singing is one thing when you get to solely concentrate on the music, but acting is so far removed from the music itself. At least for me personally, like when I have to sing and play, it feels like the same part of my brain, but when I add in the acting, I feel like I have to bounce back and forth between the two. And so sometimes I have to go on autopilot musically and think about what facial expression am I making? How am I tilting my head? Am I, making the proper Mickey smile, rather than my own personal smile, because they're two different things. So you really have to concentrate on making sure that you're not being you, that you're not letting yourself shine through. Um, and it can be incredibly difficult. The body language is different. Even how Mickey plays drums is different from how I play drums. I grew up playing drums. I've been playing drums my whole life, and Mickey was not an experienced drummer when he started playing drums on their actual recordings when they took over from the Wrecking Crew. And so I have to kind of make myself play like I'm a beginner drummer while still playing the parts well enough that I don't sound like a beginning drummer.
Josh, I heard you describe what you had to do to make your drum kit look like Mickey's drum kit. You made it look like a left-handed kit. And what I want to know is where did you get your engineering degree to come up with all that? It sounded really complicated. Can you weld? I mean, what talents do you have?
Well, my engineering degree is actually in chemical engineering from Cornell University,
There we go.
but
I
no, it's
knew, I knew there was something up.
when we started, I just copied Mickey's drum setup exactly as he had it, and it's kind of an amalgamation of being right-handed and left-handed. So everything is set up left-handed except for the floor tom is still set up to his right, like it would be right-handed, and then he plays open grip, so his hands are still playing in the same fashion as if he was right-handed. So even though it looks left-handed, really the only left-handed part is that he's playing bass drum with his left foot, but everything else is set up to play like a right-handed person. And we decided early on that the sacrifice of using my left foot wasn't worth it. And so I just thought about it and came up with the idea of using a double bass drum pedal but removing the guts from the left side. So I'm still playing bass drum with my right foot, but the pedal is going all the way to the left in front of my left foot. And then my left foot is actually on the hi-hat pedal and it's connected by a cable to the actual hi-hat. So in essence, I'm still playing completely right-handed in every way. It just doesn't look like it.
That pretty complicated stuff though. And
Yeah.
so you're playing and engineering and acting and singing and how hard is it to drum? Have you ever are you normally a drummer or is that just one of the instruments you play?
It's one of the instruments I play, but it was the first instrument I started playing as a kid.
So did you right from the beginning were you singing and drumming? Because I've been told by quite a few people it's fairly difficult to drum and sing, and that's why so few people do it.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to always be a drummer and a singer. along with the other instruments that I play. But my dad did a lot of Beatles music growing up, and so I grew up playing drums, but singing the Paul McCartney parts for my dad's Beatles band. So I learned how to do that very early on.
It's just pretty amazing to me that you do that. John, you're Peter Tork,
That's right.
so you basically don't get to sing that much. Is that what it amounts to?
Yeah, but you know what I make up for the lack of singing by never being still for like a single second the whole show. Like constantly like dancing around and moving, so it's actually quite exhausting.
What I think makes it
Yeah.
is playing the
It
banjo.
get like they're like pretty good quality, so like maybe it's a small in number but good quality bits, I think.
Have we lost Frankie, Ron?
Yeah.
Uh, no, he's still there.
Still there.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Hey, Frankie, can you
Yeah.
hear us?
I
Yeah,
had a
I can
question
hear
for
you and
him.
see you, but
Oh,
it says
okay.
1% on my thing. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
you're a one percenter.
Yeah.
I am.
Oh,
we always knew.
I wanted to. Okay, you're coming up a little bit right now, so I'll ask you a question real quick. Um, now, I know you play Davey. Of course, you know Davey
Yeah.
famously doesn't play a lot of instruments, but you also played Paul McCartney as well. So I know you can play. So is
Yes.
it kind of hard to have to hold back and not play, or
I think
how do you kind of get around that?
the hardest thing for me is that I don't have a guitar to hide behind. I just have the maracas and the tambourine. But in this show, I play bass on a couple of songs. I play
Yeah,
drums on a couple of songs, which I had to learn how Josh is playing that stupid drum kit. And then I do some percussion or some sounds on the keyboard. It's not actually playing the piano or the keyboard, but I'm hitting a couple of
yeah,
keys. So I touch everything. Oh, I play acoustic on I Want to Be Free as well. So I'm
yeah.
touching just about everything on stage except for the banjo.
Okay, so you kind of get around it a little bit, though.
Yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, and
Davey
I
does
guess you
get
just have to find
around
you a
just a
really
bit.
big
Yeah,
tambourine to hide behind, huh?
yeah. We need
I'll use the one with the
Can you?
skin the
Yeah,
most.
yeah.
yeah.
Well, maybe Josh can rig up a one out of a bass drum or something, some kind of way.
I wouldldn't doubt
Hey
it.
He's rigged
guys,
up everything else. I think he could rig up something for the guy in Def Leppard.
Right.
At least with the one arm.
oh, he
So
was a
that's
better
not as
drummer. He was a
complicated as
better
that.
drummer. He was a better drummer after he lost his arm. I mean, he'll tell you. I think he was overdoing it. But guys, I know when you're doing a tribute, any kind of tribute, authenticity is everything. I mean, don't you feel like you need to come out and sell it to your audience a little bit, like give them that hook? I know this. Bear with me here, but I remember going to see the movie Young Frankenstein. I hadn't heard anything about it. I walk in the movie theater. I sit down to see the movie. It comes on and it's in black and white, and I was sold right there. And it was that little hook that this is going to be in black and white like the old Boris Karloff movies. I'm
Right.
in. What I mean, what was the best hook? What do you think just each one of you? What was the? I guess start with John, but what's the hook that you feel like really makes you Peter Tork or makes you feel like you're Peter Tork?
Well, I wasn't before you said the Peter Tork part. I was going to say for the band. I don't know if this is something we plan on doing again, but one of the shows that we played at I think it was the Starlight Bowl, we had the gold curtain behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And when
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw the videos, seeing us in the red bib shirts and the drums set up all crazy, and then seeing that gold curtain, that it was like, oh, this is super cool. Like
Yeah.
it was like I wish I could watch the show. um, yeah,
So you bought in.
yeah, yeah. I
You
really did.
came into it. I mean,
Yeah.
Josh? Would you think that's the same thing? Well, we talked about the drums and having the drum kit set up like Mickey. Is that really what you're going for? Is you need to buy in rather than the audience?
Oh, absolutely. I think first and foremost, you have to believe it yourself. If you don't believe it, the audience isn't going to believe it. And that's why, even when we're not in the spotlight on stage, like, we start out the show in the dark, and we have some media going and we walk out on stage and take our positions, but the getting into character takes place backstage. So what the audience doesn't see is that we're backstage already talking in our voices, already in character, already preparing to sell the show before we've even taken a step on stage. Um, so, when I saunter over to my drums, I don't walk up to my drum kit how I normally would if I was just being myself. I do what I imagine Mickey would do in my situation. So we try to sell it from the very beginning.
I mean, any other thoughts, Frank? Do you have any take on that? Or
I think what
if
does
Frank's
it for
still here,
me, yeah. Well, what I think does it for me is that
he sounds like a robot.
I'm
Yeah,
4'11".
there we go.
What?
AI. We've got an AI character picking up
I
this
don't
thing.
know what you
Listen,
guys are seeing, so it looks fine to me.
well,
Yeah.
no, you sounded like an electric piano there for a minute, but
Oh,
you're
really?
okay now, I think. But what
Oh,
was
I
your
think
take
so
on
did
it,
you
what
get
Ron?
what I
what this
said?
program does is even when it's kind of blanking out to us, it should be picking him up all the way. So
Okay.
hopefully,
I
Okay,
think
good.
Frank's saying that the detail that he feels makes him feel most like Davy Jones is his height, 4'11".
Okay, there we
4'11".
go.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
3 inches
That'll do
shorter
it.
than Davy. No, I'm joking.
Hey, Ron, let's give these guys a chance just to talk about this tour a little more. As I was looking over these dates, your June and July are pretty full. July the 9th, July the 12th, July 24th, and then you go over to October 5 and 4. Is there any chance you're going to fill in some other dates, maybe near some of those other locations? I mean, you get as far over as uh, Illinois, Missouri. Is there a chance you might bop on over across the a state or two and maybe do a date in Tennessee or something you'll add in later?
Well, sure,
Anything.
we'd love to.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of efforts are you? I know decades ago when I was in college, I had something to do with booking shows for our college, and we would get these little flyers that says, "Hey, we're playing in Memphis." And we can come down and they give us a couple of dates, and it would be a reduced rate because they were already in the area. Are you working on things like that? Is that something people still do? Or
Over to you, Frank.
Yeah, we have a couple of people looking into gigs for us and trying to find, our niche on, the crowds that we attract. And so if we get a lead on a venue that likes us or would like to have us, he immediately starts looking around the area so we can book a few more shows at the same time. So it just kind of depends, who sends a little interest over to him, and then he goes from there. So we're hoping to fill in those dates. It does look like a lot, but it's a week run in Utah, and then we got a week off or so, 10, 12 days, and then we're in Orange County, California. So I'd like to fill those dates in. We just have to get out there and do it. If we can get some people to come to the show, that would be fantastic. You'll love the show.
well, guys, by now what a horrible, horrible mistake you've made by coming on our show. But but one advantage we have is we practically know all of our subscribers by name. I mean, we've got three guys that we count on every time: Hubert, Don, and Steve, and somebody named Cam who comments frequently, who lives in Florida. And I think Cam is actually a female, but I'm not sure. She's keeping kind of lid on that, or he is. But Florida seems like a natural for some dates later on, and just putting that out there because there's got to be number one. There are a lot of older folks, and older folks are really going to glom onto a Monkees tribute band. I think.
Definitely our
Absolutely.
demographic,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
I think so too.
I think one of the hard things is, especially when you're booking a gig that's so far away, if you book a gig without having other gigs built in around it, you're taking that risk that we're going to go all the way out there, which can be fairly pricey, especially for all the equipment and props and everything that we bring out there. So I think the hardest thing for the booking agents that we work with is making sure that we can book multiple shows on each run. And so you have to have everything almost half booked until you
Right.
have enough half booked to then get it all booked at once.
The the thing about the when people come to see your show, what are they going to see? I mean, just kind of take us through it. I know you don't just come out and just sing monkey song after monkey song. Although I've read some reviews, comments. By the way, y'all probably know stay away from the comments; it'll mess your heads up. But they say a lot of nice things about you in comments on YouTube videos and that kind of thing. But you don't just do songs one after the other, right? What else is involved in the show if somebody comes out to see you guys?
Well, one thing that I really appreciate as a fan of the Monkees and the TV show is, uh, spoiler alert, I guess. We even do the incidental music, like the music that takes you from the theme song into the episode,
Oh, sure.
right? So,
Yeah.
like after we do the Monkees intro theme song, we transition into Last Train to Clarksville with that sort of transition music. So it's really great. It's like for a Monkees fan, it's really fun to inhabit that space,
All
to
right.
like almost like living inside of an episode a little bit. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Well,
I
don't you
would
have
say
like contests and stuff?
we do. So, and that's kind of our show is so multifaceted. You get a concert, you get the music, you get elements of the TV show. We have some of the probably most classic jokes from the TV show. So, if you're a fan of the show, you'll definitely recognize some of the jokes. You'll recognize some of the bits. There's lots of in jokes that are funny, even if you're
I've
not a fan
lost you
of the show,
guys.
but are especially funny if you are a fan of the show. And then on top of the music and the fact that it feels like you're living in an episode watching our show, you get those extra concert elements as well of we have a costume contest. So we ask people to come to the show in costume. We bring people up on stage
What
in
happened?
costume. We have the audience basically vote on who the best costume is, and whoever wins gets an actual Monkees logo guitar.
Oh yeah.
Like not just a toy guitar,
I'm going to
but a
exit and
What?
try and come
full-on
back.
real Les Paul guitar painted with the Monkees logo. So you can come to our show, dress up and have fun, and possibly win a free guitar. On top of that, we have a dance contest where we find three of the grooviest people in the audience who look like they're having a good time. We bring them up, we have them compete, do their best dancing bits for the audience, and again, the audience votes. Very TV show like, you get to call in, you get to vote for whoever you like best. And for that, we do give everybody a prize for participating. But so you could leave the show with a free shirt, a free guitar, and a good time. And I can't think of another band that offers an audience so much.
Yeah.
Neither can I. And that kind of leads into I've got kind of a little two-part question, and the first part is your instruments. Like the guitars and everything. It's got to be had to be difficult to find instruments that looked like the Monkees' Gretsch instruments from the show. I mean, had to be. I mean, did you actually find some Gretsch that looked like it, or did you have to modify something else? And then part two, where the hell did you get your bib shirts? Because I've been looking for those for years.
Those were bespoke bib. We
Oh,
had
I
the
always loved the bib shirts.
yeah. Those are
The bib shirts are custom made.
yeah.
Yeah, I figured that was probably the case. They look great.
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
You're gonna have to get a tailor, Ron, to
Yeah,
get one of those.
apparently so.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can find one to do that, but you know.
The equipment all came from the man who started the show, our producer, Ron. Um, he already had some of the gear. but then a lot of it had to be modified. I know Frank helped out a lot with that. Because their gear is so unique. I mean, it's hard enough in any tribute band to get the gear down, but I would say this is the hardest I've ever seen a tribute band have to work to get the gear close to the real stuff. Not only just finding the instruments in the first place, but then customizing them to get even closer. And we had to do that with everything. There's no instrument we have that is stock. Everything had to be custom done, even the drum set. Our options were to actually buy a real vintage Champagne Sparkle Gretsch drum kit and take it on the road and risk ruining it, which we decided we didn't want to do because nobody wants to destroy a nice vintage instrument.
Sure.
So we bought a modern Gretsch drum set and we had to have it recovered in Champagne Sparkle, which was its own problem. We came to find out that the chemical that they used to use in the 60s for the Champagne Sparkle is no longer legal because apparently it caused some problems.
Yeah, I was going to guess toxic.
Kind of like
Yeah.
lawn darts. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, exactly. So we had to find special material. We had to find somebody who was willing to do it because some people weren't willing to do it. But we eventually found a guy and he recovered everything in the correct champagne sparkle. So everything to get this band started was a lot of work. Nothing was as easy as just buying something and having it.
You
I know nobody would, give you a hard time about not having the Moog synthesizer because the Monkees can even find that for their shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have like a Vox Continental looking keyboard. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's the actual. Is it the legs are real, but maybe the
Mhm.
top I think is unreal.
Yeah.
Correct.
There
That's
you
all you
go.
needed. All you needed. Hey guys, you mentioned Ron McNeil. Ron McNeil, the founder of the Fab Four, and the guy that put this Monkee Men show together. In doing what little research I ever do for anything, I was reading some background on Ron, and boy, what really struck me was, when he started out with the Fab Four, this person and this person and
I
this
lost
person
you
and this
guys
person
again.
played John, Paul, George, and Ringo. And then later on, there was another configuration, but the other guys from the original Fab Four were still with the program and were
Mhm.
maybe stage managers or doing something else as they got older and maybe didn't want to play every night or be on the road or whatever the situation was. Uh, that struck me as kind of unusual. Is it just like this huge family that Ron has built with his brother and you guys and everybody kind of interacts and switches back and forth between the shows? I mean, what does he do to keep everybody so loyal? Pays on time, I guess.
Um, I would say that we've all worked with a lot of people in the business. All of us are lifelong musicians. And when you find somebody who treats you well and provides for you and gives you a good place to work, who's going to want to leave that?
Right. So I'm guessing that's the situation with you guys. Is you feel like there's a certain level of security with this outfit that you're with.
Yeah, and I mean, even, all music, all bands, are here today, gone tomorrow to some degree. People could stop hiring you at any moment. But I think just the trust that nobody's going to give up. We've all been in situations where we've been in bands where we think, oh, we're close knit and we're all going to put in all this effort. And then somebody in the band always eventually leaves or goes on to do something else, and years of work that you've put in has been shattered. So being in a situation where you actually trust everybody that's a part of it to not do something like that can make a huge difference.
Hey,
Very true.
guys, how loyal are you to the idea of the Monkees? They get a lot of abuse. Heard people say, well, they're not a real band. Uh, I mean, if somebody says something like that, do you get upset?
I think they're saying that because they've heard other people say that. You know, the argument that I like is Frank Sinatra didn't write his own songs. You know, why all of a sudden? What I think
Yeah.
who ruined it for everyone was the Beatles. The Beatles started writing their own songs, and then all of a sudden you were expected to write your own songs. But that wasn't how it was. There was an A&R man. Your A&R man is the person who finds repertoire and like gives it to the artists. Like that's what an A&R man is, or an A&R person. Um, but yeah, so I think people just like to, you know, dog on the Monkees just because it's like an easy thing to do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
it. Seems cheap to me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and not very insightful to me.
Yeah.
Like they were on a TV show that lasted 2 years, and then here we are, what, 60 years later,
Yeah.
and there's the band still got all this influence. At some point, when do you become a real boy? You know, they're they.
Yeah.
When do
Yeah.
you become a real band? And I think they did that somewhere, somehow. It was unusual, but I think they did it somehow,
Yeah.
and went from a little wooden puppet to this real boy that runs around and still has people around like you guys paying tribute to them. And
Well,
maybe
if they
good
hadn't
fit.
done that, you know, they nobody, you know, who would be talking about them?
Yeah,
Nobody. You know.
exactly. And I mean, anybody who says they weren't a real band, like, to me, that just shows that they don't really have all of the information about the situation. Like, anybody who knows anything about the Monkees know that, guess what? After the first couple albums, they did play their own instruments on the albums, and they did write their own songs, and they did tour. They did everything any other band has done. They started a little bit differently, but like, if you discount how they started, you'd have to discount so many other artists who were handpicked, like Fickus said,
Mhm.
by an AR man, or bands that were put together by an outside force. You know, the Spice Girls were put together by an outside force. Every boy band you've ever heard of was put together by an outside force. Like,
And there's no amount of like marketing that you can do or branding and stuff. If it's not good music, it's not going to last. Like it might blip for a
Exactly.
while, but good music is good music. And so the fact that we're talking about it right now, 2025, that's why it's lasted, because it's good music.
That's right. I know
Ron,
my
anything else?
granddaughter only dances to good music. You
yeah.
know.
Hey,
And
what
she
else you
dances
got,
to
Ron?
Monkees music and Beatles music and Earth,
We
Wind and
probably need to
Fire.
wrap
You
this
know.
probably need to wrap this up and let these guys go grab something to eat. Ron, you got any final question or final word?
I know I'm tapped out as far as questions go. I'm just would like to thank them for coming on the show, and I really appreciate it, guys. And good luck on the tour, and hope you do well, and hope to see you again.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so
Hey,
Thanks
we
for
much. We'd
having
love to
appreciate
us.
it
come
a
back.
lot. We really thank you, and we hope a lot of folks come out to see your show. And if you get anywhere near us, we're definitely going to be there. So
Great.
good
And
to
I'll
see you.
take
Thank
Awesome.
you.
the peace sign. I guess I got to throw it back, man.
Boomer Bongo Boulevard out.
All right.
Monkee Men.